Misconceptions, we all have them. Or maybe that's also a misconception. If you learn something as a kid, you often just stick with it until you hear otherwise. And if your misconceptions aren't challenged, then you won't know any different. So you will still continue to believe your misconceptions. Someone did a survey in the UK, and 82% of adults admit to having long-term misconceptions. And that's only the ones that admit it. I believe the number is even greater than 82%. There are probably a lot of people that don't know that they have misconceptions, and there are probably a lot of people that won't admit it. Misconception number 1. Beans, coffee beans, are not actually beans. They are seeds. If you thought that coffee was made by coffee beans, it's actually made by coffee seeds. It's just that we call them coffee beans. I think that's a bit funny. It doesn't really change reality that much. It's just, we call it beans, but it is a seed. Chameleons do not actually change their color depending on their surroundings. They change it depending on their mood. Either way, it does seem to help them, so I don't see why it would matter, but yeah. Many of these misconceptions are just misconceptions that doesn't really matter. Ooh, okay, this one is a good one. Mount Everest is the tallest mountain in the world. Because Earth is spinning, the shape of the Earth is not a perfect sphere. It's actually a oblong spheroid, which means that it's a little bit pushed. So you can think of it as a little bit of an ellipse. If you look at it from the side, if you exaggerate it, it's like this. That means that the mountains are actually higher along the equator than what Mount Everest actually is, if we measure in the same way that we do on other planets. Another science one. You can see the Great Wall of China from space. Well, that doesn't even make sense. The average width of the wall is actually just 4 or 5 meters. And how are you going to see 4 or 5 meters when you're multiple hundreds of kilometers away? That does not make sense at all. 1 human year is equivalent to 7 dog years, which doesn't make sense because it depends on the breed and also the size of the dog. I wonder if there is some way you can calculate how humans compare to each other, because we also have different sizes, and because of our sizes we have different lifespans. There are probably a lot of factors that play into our lifespan. The Earth revolves around the sun. This one is a funny one because it is half true, I would say. Technically the Earth and all the other planets are also affecting the sun. So the sun isn't just standing in one place, it is also being affected by the other planets. So it is moving a little bit, but because of the large mass that the sun has, it isn't moving as much as the other planets are. They are all orbiting the center of the mass. Whoa, okay, this one I didn't know. Different parts of your tongue detects different tastes. So this was actually disproven by research. I thought this was still true. I guess it isn't, so we have debunked one of my misconceptions. If some of your misconceptions are debunked during this video, you can leave it down in the comments, because this was actually really fascinating. Giving children sugar makes them hyper. Okay, it does say that some experts still stand by this, but other professors claim that the scientific research has concluded that sugar does not cause hyperactivity in youngsters. Do not sue me if your kid is going hyperactive because you gave him some sugar after me saying this. The experts probably know better than I do. Hopefully. Humans have 5 senses. We do have 5 senses, plus a lot more. I guess it depends on how you categorize them, because the major ones are the sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste, right? But you also have the fullness feeling if you have to go to the toilet. Okay, so I found a list of different senses, and amongst others we have temperature sensing, we have pain sensing, balance, the fact that we can sense gravity, air, wind, and motion. It's a lot. I liked it when we just had 5 senses. And it looks like the consensus isn't ready yet. Is it like 21 senses? Do we have 9? And there's even someone that proposes 53 senses. That's a lot. Fortune cookies are actually not Chinese, but they're Japanese. This doesn't really affect me that much. I don't think I've ever opened a fortune cookie. I do eat a lot of Chinese food, and I also eat a lot of Japanese food, but still, I haven't opened a single fortune cookie, at least that I can remember. Ooh, okay, another good one. Sushi does not mean raw fish. Sushi actually translates to sour tasting. Does fish taste sour? Maybe because I'm Norwegian, I'm so used to sour, like candy and stuff, which is super sour compared to other countries. When every time we are out traveling, me and my wife, we are tasting like sour candies and stuff, and I have never tasted a sour candy that I would actually say it's proper sour. If you travel outside of Norway, it's really tame compared to the sour candy that we have in Norway. Maybe that makes me immune to the sour tasting of the sushi, if that makes any sense. Okay, this has to be the last one. I have been going for quite a while now. Vikings wore horn helmets. They never had horn on their helmets. Maybe like the movie industry had made horns on their helmets just because that would make them more intimidating or something, because I feel like it makes sense just having the horns on the helmet. You see them in every Viking movie or series that you watch. It's like, it just makes sense. But that's it for now. If you had some of these misconceptions, please leave them down in the comments. It's so fun to just read about people's misconceptions, and maybe you have some ones that wasn't listed, then I would appreciate that as well. And if you liked it, please like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!